In the movie Shadowlands, there is a scene where C.S. Lewis informs his friends his wife's cancer has gone into remission. One of them replies by saying, "How wonderful, God has answered your prayer." To which Lewis responds, "That's not why I pray. I pray because I can't help myself. I pray because I'm helpless. I pray because the need flows out of me all the time, waking and sleeping. It doesn't change God. It changes me." The first time I heard this quote many years ago, I felt it was a faith-expanding moment regarding the practice of prayer. And I have personally learned since then, my prayer doesn't change God. It indeed changes me. Our readings today demonstrate how prayer has the power to change us and align us with God's vision of loving service, compassion, forgiveness, and justice. On their walk toward Sodom and Gomorrah, God lets Abraham know there have been reports of grave sin in the town. The continuation of the story, beyond our reading today, portrays a town being oppressed by a pervasive group mentality that is imposing its will upon the people to the point of intimidation and hostility, dragging people out of homes and inflicting violence upon them. The social sin of not being hospitable is terrorizing the town. Hospitality was crucial for survival in the time of Abraham, so it was a duty to provide it. Offering food and a safe place to stay for those in need, especially to strangers, was a way of life. Abraham realizes the seriousness of the situation and at the same time feels uneasy about the possibility of condemning the whole town. With some trepidation, Abraham decides to ask God a question. Will you sweep away the innocent with the guilty? Despite initially being assured God would do no such thing, Abraham persists in his questioning until finally reaching a moment of clarity. God would not destroy the town because of the actions of some. God doesn't believe in indiscriminate punishment and killing. Abraham's conversation with God changes his own understanding of God's justice. When I was younger, I was impressed by the boldness of Abraham to question God. Now I see it more as Abraham questioning his own views, which can be equally as bold. Abraham didn't change God's perspective. It is Abraham who is moved to align his beliefs to God's. In the gospel, the disciples asked Jesus to teach them to pray. The prayer he shares is referred to as the Lord's Prayer, suggesting it was most likely how Jesus himself prayed. This offers us insight into what he thought was meaningful in a relationship with God. The prayer that we continue to say today starts by praising and acknowledging God's presence. Your kingdom come calls into being the vision God has for all of us to live together as one. Asking for daily bread signifies God is with us in the everyday moments of our lives. Requesting and offering forgiveness expresses the importance of tending to our relationships with God and with others. The prayer ends with the plea to not let other influences draw us away from God's vision of love, peace, and dignity for all. As the gospel continues, Jesus tells a story illustrating prayer in action, reminding us of the importance of hospitality. The story depicts a man persistently seeking help from a friend who is resistant to assist because he and his household have already settled in for the night, conveying that even when it is inconvenient, we are still responsible for welcoming those in need. The prayer and story Jesus offers speaks to envisioning the kingdom while being attentive to the present. Prayer has the power to change us by repeatedly reminding us to live as God would have us live. At times, we may feel overwhelmed and helpless regarding the injustices taking place in the world today. The need for prayer may be flowing out of us all the time, waking and sleeping. Our prayers and conversations with God are what sustain and strengthen us, what allow us to hold on to hope, to be filled with the Spirit, and to continue to advocate for God's vision so beautifully voiced in the teachings of Jesus. Prayer at its core helps us to see with God's eyes. In this Jubilee year of hope, may we never shy from the challenge to align our beliefs to God's and of being bold and persistent in bringing God's vision to life.